Let's stay on track. We got out on the left. The Red Bull of Nightmare goes on the right. Who gets a better start there? I think it's a pretty good start, but the Red Bull has a bit more advantage, I think, but still hasn't been able to get past the Alpine there. The McLaren trying to come up alongside them as they get through turns 1 through into turn 2. The Red Bull keeping so close behind. We already got triple yellow wave flags here. And that might just be maybe a full safety car, is it? Or is it a virtual safety car? I already can't tell it. I think it's a virtual safety car at this point in the session. We're on board. And yeah, it is a virtual safety car. Not a major incident, but still a bit of an incident somewhere from the midfield down to the back of the grid there. I'm not 100% sure what's happened as yet or who was involved in that, but definitely worth bringing out, causing a virtual safety car here in the session. Alcon was able to hold off the lead against Sniper Ghost, even on those hard tires through into turn 1 and 2. Now, that VSC might maybe have helped them. We'll see what the case is going to be, because VSC is going to be over before this lap is over, and we're going to get back racing very, very shortly. And that's going to happen so quickly. As you can see, the Red Bull keeping so close behind the Alpine right now. He's not going to give up that position. And Alcon, of course, going to try to hold on to his position if he can. The Red Bull going to chase after him for this one. Those soft tires are going to work pretty well in the opening stages of this race. But of course, he's going to leave the Nightmare Ghost taking an early pit stop here. So that's, of course, going to be a bit of a different strategy than Alcon is running. Let's see how it works out between the two of them. Who got it right, who got it wrong, and who's going to be on pole at the end of lap 29 here at the Australian Grand Prix. As got back racing already. Nightmare Ghost on the chase right now. It's a 4-10 gap between him and Alcon. And let's see how it goes. The Alpine, I think, possibly for a second there, he was weaving his tire, reading around in front, giving the race back on again. He's lost about 2/10 towards the Red Bull here. The Red Bull gaining some time right now. You can see the McLaren of Lancer coming so close behind. Keaton Moore there. Oh, sorry, P6 is up into P4 now. That qualifying time he got, of course, on the final run during the qualifying session, and it's worked so well for him. Spill TX, a 3-second time penalty already. Elixir into the pit lane, might have some damage on that opening lap there. The Red Bull on the hunt right now. It's a 2:10 gap. It's not going anywhere else. It's down to just under 2:10s now. And yep, that might be an overtake in the making here. Those soft tires, as you said, are working pretty well. He's on the outside trying for an overtake here. And there goes Nightmare Ghost, getting a bit off track with it, but a bit of an incident between him and Alcon. Alcon forced a bit off track. Where is he at the moment? He's trying to get back going here. Not the best of not the best of situations for him here. He got a bit off track after that incident with him and Nightmare Ghost there. Not sure if there was contact between the two cars, but his Nightmare Ghost kept it going out in front. It's an 8-10 gap between him and Lancer for second place here. That's, of course, in the McLaren coming behind within a second. Once a DRS advantage when it comes to live on the next lap. Those soft tires, though, going to give him the pace advantage on the opening stages of this race. As we said, is the fastest lap so far. DRS is now online. That's going to be an advantage to a few drivers. Smith is going to be the first one here on the grid, coming down the top of the order to have it as he's chasing after Keaton Moore. So close behind. The Red Bulls having a heck of a race here at Australia. One already leading, and oh, we got some contact there. Not the best of race for this Red Bull for AWH Smith right now. Got a bit of contact with someone. Someone lost, I think, an end plate on the front wing. I'm not sure if it was the Red Bull or not. We'll have a look in a second. It might have been another car in front of him. And yeah, that's going to be probably a front wing change during a pit stop. It depends how bad the damage actually is. Going back out front, Marcel and Nate Smith. Let's see what's happening with those two. Cave Meister behind that battle there, as well as you can see his RP coming behind the McLaren. The McLaren under a lot of pressure right now to hold that position, and of course trying to gain the position himself here as he gets through and goes side by side with the AlphaTauri. The Alpine trying to go between them is 3 wide going through that turn, and that was quite interesting. The McLaren comes out in front, and well, of course still side by side with the Alpine of Cave Meister as he gets ahead now. Cave Meister is gaining out these 2 positions here, so good racing for him so far. Marcel holding on to P5, Naismith down to 6. Not the best of advantage for him there, but he's going to try to gain back as much as he can. He goes into the pit lane there as the McLaren chases after Cave Meister now down the main straight into the next lap. Out in front, Nightmare Ghost leads the Grand Prix right now. Lancer in second, Keaton Moore running third, Cave Meister now holding on to fourth and trying to hold up the McLaren of Marcel coming down there in P5. Alcon, race the previous race leader there, started on a pole. He's now down into 6th place after a bit of an incident with Nightmare Ghost for that lead of the race, and that's put him down all the way there. 2.23 seconds gap towards the McLaren in front of him. AW8 Smith, bit of an incident with his Red Bulls going wrong. He's down to 7th and running. Trying to see where the rest of the grid is at the moment as well. Alright, now go on board for a second with the McLaren of Marcel. See how close that gap is towards Gabe Meister. He does have DRS advantage here, but how much is that actually going to help him? Because the 510 gap needs to get past and get him to P4 to try to get him to a podium position if he can. His teammate running 2nd place in this race right now. Nightmare Ghost leading. Those soft tires giving him such a huge advantage in this race. But of course, as he said, it's going to be an early pit stop for him. Depending on how long he actually can push on those tires out in front there. We'll see what the case is going to be, but it's a 3.3 second gap towards the McLaren behind of him right now. Want to see how much longer he's able to keep that advantage. When does he start losing time, and when is he going to have to take a pit stop? Quite sure he might be pushing for a one-stop strategy in this race to maybe soft to hards. It could be. It's a bit of an aggressive strategy going in this session, but it could potentially work for him, and hopefully have him still finish on pole here. We'll see what the case is going to be though. Lancer and Keenan Moore might have something to say about it. Cape Meister coming in behind that to follow through as well. We're going to go down the order a bit. We got AW8 Smith here, 7th in the grid right now, chasing after Alcon now. Two drivers who have not had the best of starts in this race here. Cammy there, P8. Then we got Kodoy in 9th position right now. 6-10 gap towards Cammy in front of him. Of course, chasing after that Ferrari. And a closer gap that he's getting. He's starting to gain a bit of time right now as far as we can see. So he's going to continue that, of course. Going down the Arden, Nate Smith there. Bit of a gap. Still TX in a P12. In the next Ferrari. Being chased, of course, by Ace there in a Mercedes. The Mercedes on... definitely on a challenge here right now to try and get up into P12. It's an 8-10 gap. I think he lost a bit of time as we were switching a wrong track here. Let's see how close he can get. Kodo is getting a bit closer as far as you can see. We'll switch it back to that and let's see if he can get an overtake done against the Ferrari in front of him. Cammy, of course, going to try to hold it on true. As you can see, AW8 Smith and Alcon, I think that is, fighting for a position into turn 1. The Alpine goes a bit wide there. I think it did. And looks like Smith gets a penalty. Maybe he went wide too, I'm not sure. Probably a warning for the Alpine driver there, the Alcon. It's a 3-10 gap between him and the Red Bull. Let's see how this works out. Gap starting to go away, of course. Out in front, of course, Nightmare Ghost still leading the Grand Prix right about now, and it is a 4.3 second lead against Lancer and the McLaren. The McLaren already knows he can't do anything much here, as that Red Bull is on the soft tires and running. He's just going to wait for the soft tires to actually give up and then try to get his move, try to get an advantage done there. Maybe get him in the pit stops, I'm not sure, but he's going to have to work and figure out something here on track to take over the lead of this race against the Red Bull. Keenan Moore in a third. 2.4 seconds down. Got Marcel, a pretty close gap with Cape Meister here. McLaren trying to get up into P4. See if we can get it done. There's a bit of an even strategy with them. Just depends on which car has the most space through these straights right now. And there goes the McLaren into the pits pretty early on in the session here. Lap 6 of 29. And Marcel takes a pit stop. What is going to be the change on order? Let's see what set of tires he is going to go on. Looks like he's going to a set of soft tires here. It's going to be a two-soft strategy for him. And it's going to be changing front wing. Might have had some damage on a previous incident on track there. So he's had to change the front wing. He's going to get back out on track. Let's see if the soft tires are going to do him some advantage. It is doing Nightmare Ghost quite a bit of advantage out in front right now. On to Ice 1 here in the Alfa Romeo, chasing after the Ferrari in front of him. Closes the gap so quickly here. Half a second now, down to 3/10. And coming and going a bit there. Cape Meister, AW8 Smith, two drivers with penalties out at the front of the grid. Spill TX and Elixir at the back of the grid with penalties. With Alcon out of this session, what's happened to his car? Let's have a look. There's his car at the side of the track there, into the barriers. That might have been self-inflicted, but Alcon, our driver who started on pole here at Australia, is now out of this race, and I think it's led to a full safety car, is it? I believe it is a full safety car, which might trigger some pit stops here. Let's see what the situation is going to be on track. It's lap 7 of 29. Our race leader on those soft tires might have a bit of an advantage to gain here, taking a pit stop with his soft tires on. pretty early off on the session, and his strategy, of course, going his way right now with the Red Bull driver here. Let's see what the change of order is going to be. Quite sure he is going to go on to the hard tires, is it? Or is it the medium he goes on to? He goes on to the hard tires, and he's coming out of the pit lane right now. Lancer is in, Cape Meister is in, AWH Smith is in the pits, Keenamore is in as well. Does Cammy come in? It might just be the case of everyone on the track taking a pit stop and going onto those hard tires, which means we're going to have a bit of an even strategy with drivers getting through this session, of course. Marcel just took a pit stop. He is going to be, of course, a bit upset about that one. Waiting one more lap would have been a bit of a freer pit stop for him. Unfortunately, he's going to have to take it here at this point. Got the Aston Martin safety car out on track as everyone's following on behind it right now. So the order, or grid order as it is right about now, we got Nightmare Ghost, of course, leading the Australian Grand Prix here at Albert Park Circuit. We got Joe Lancer there in second. Cape Meister running third on the podium position now. AWH Smith in fourth. Keenamore 5th, Cammy in 6th, Corduroy 7th, Ice1 8th, Spill TX in 9th, Naismith in 10th, Ace in 11th, Marcel running 12th, and Elixir running 13th on the grid. Alcon and URL Sierra unfortunately out of this race session so far. Okay, so still on with the safety car, of course. We're gonna have to wait maybe a lap more, or 2 laps more before the safety car does go in, and we're gonna get back racing again. So unfortunately for the 2 drivers that are currently out of the session, we still got 13 drivers in this Grand Prix to finish it off. We're currently on lap 9 of 29. By the time we get racing, we'll be under 20 laps remaining in this session. And there's still quite a way more to go in a Grand Prix. And of course, we've seen the change of order that's happened with the tires here. Of course, top 6 cars now on fresh hard tires. Ice1 chose the soft, so did Naismith. Spill TX, he hasn't taken a stop. So he has gained a few positions there. There goes the Red Bull of Nightmare Ghost into the barriers, and he's lost some front wing. He needs to get back going before the race gets back started and the last car is past him. Otherwise, I don't think he gets back to position. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get past back everyone. I don't think that's the case there. So a bit of a self-inflicted incident here. According to the rules, as far as I know, he's not going to be able to overtake back any cars. It's under a safety car right now. This is not during the formation lap. But during the formation lap, if you do fall back, as long as the last car doesn't pass you, you get to go back on your grid position, which I mean out in front for him. So he's not going to be able to get back out in front. Safety car coming in at the end of this lap. We're about to get back racing here. Lancer now on pole leading this race. Cape Meister running second now. AWH Smith on the podium now. Keenamore 4th, Cammy 5th, Ice1 6th, Spill TX 7, Naismith 8, Ace in 9th, Marcel now in 10th, Coda 11, Nightmare Games goes back up to 13th. 13 for him. Elixir in 12th. Let's see what the order is going to be as we get back racing here. Waiting for the McLaren to get going here. The Alpine of Cape Meister going to follow off with him. The Red Bull of Smith coming so close behind. Let's see how they go getting through. 5-second penalty for Nightmare Ghost for severe collision with Elixir. There's a bit of confusion at the back of the grid there with the Red Bull driver not having the best of restarts after the safety car and a horrible incident to happen. Marcel gets a 3-second penalty there for track limits, of course. Meister, pretty close gap. About Smith following on a bit closer behind of him. Needs to be a bit concerned and worried about that as we get through the session. Then we got, of course, Kinnemore trying to get a position here as well. As he does get a position, he's up into P3. The Red Bull loses the position. He's down to 4th, out to the podium places. Not going to be too happy about that. Out in front, Lancer and McLaren continues to lead. It's a 7-10 gap. He's trying to keep the gap at where it is. Hopefully extend it a bit more to avoid Meister having the DRS advantage, as that's going to come alive pretty soon there as well. Down to Smith here. Pretty close gap with him and the Haas of Kinemura. Let's see who holds out on the position. Of course, some pretty close gaps down in the midfield here. So we're going to follow on now. We got Ice One, Cammy, Naismith, Ace, and Spill TX all in the middle of the Spill TX side by side with the Mercedes of Ace here. And better contact with the two of them as they go into the wall there. Not sure how that is going to go down, but quite sure the stewards are going to get involved in that incident. That does lead to the Mercedes of Ace losing the entire front wing. Probably gonna have to do a pit stop for that one there as we continue to get going out in front here. Spill TX getting up to P10, Ace into the pits. Let's see what's happening with the rest of the grid here. Naismith and Ice One, pretty close gap again. It's a 210 gap. Let's see if the Alfa Romeo can hold that position in P6 right now. Around the outside goes Naismith. Might not be able to get this done. Has the inside on next turn, but they're not able to keep it side by side. So he holds on to P7 for now. We'll have to try this once again. Out in front, Joe Lancer leads the race. Cape Meister in second, and it's within a second the gap is. Of course, Cape Meister having a penalty. That's not going to help his case here. And losing that 1 second gap now, so going to be out of DRS range. Not going to have the advantage that he wants. Ice One, Naismith, and Cammy in a three-way battle, of course, for a position here. The Alfa Romeo holding out in front, and followed by let's see who's currently second. The Ferrari currently just behind him in that. The Ferrari now cuts the track there a bit there. Gets a penalty for that. So Cammy gets a penalty for cutting the track. He now gets alongside Ice One. Now has to fall back behind. Now side by side with Naismith for the position. He's now down behind Naismith. Or is he? No, he's not. Yep, he is actually now behind Naismith. So Smith is up into 6th. Bit of a quick switch between these three as we get around here. And we get into the next lap of this race. DRS, of course, now online. That's going to help quite a few drivers here. AW8 Smith out in front in the Red Bull. So close to the house. Almost have contact. I think he did have some minor contact there. Almost causing a bit of an incident between him and Kinemura. But they keep it going. No major incidents detected so far. Out in front, Cape Meister not able to get back within DRS range of the McLaren as yet, so he's going to have to just hold that car into second place. Of course, Kinemura almost breaking the gap of 1 second right now, just a tenth more, and he's going to be within DRS range. So Cape Meister under some pressure here right now to get up another position if he can. Ice One following on pretty close behind Naismith still. And of course, for that position, out in front, AW8 Smith having a bit of a side-by-side battle with the Haas of Kinemura. These two still pushing through on it. The Haas on the inside, the Red Bull on the outside. Who's going to get ahead in the next turn? Almost having contact. They do have contact here. They have some contact. That's Kinemura having the worst of it as he's now falling down the order. There's a bit of a spin around. The Red Bull of AW8 Smith continues on through here in P3. But Kinemura not going to be happy about that incident there. Pause the spin for him. He's now down to P9 and running. Ice One just going ahead of Naismith now. He's up into 4th. Naismith down to 5th. Got Marcel and the McLaren coming behind of this. Let's see how the three battle between these three go. This is for P4, of course. Marcel now getting ahead on the main straight here of Naismith. Gonna follow after Ice One if he can. Kodoy out of the race session. I think did he retire from the session? I'm not sure as yet. So that is now 3 drivers out of this Australian Grand Prix. We got 12 drivers currently remaining here right now. A major incident on track, I think that was, I'm trying to figure out who that was. That was Ice One. The entire front wing gone. Not sure, quite sure the suspension is not broken on that car as yet. That, of course, is a lot of debris on track. It's going to be a full safety car, I'm quite sure of it. We're going to have a look at that right now as we get back going here. Yep, definitely it is going to be a full safety car. Is this going to lead to any pit stops here on track? It could potentially lead to us. They're now coming around to the pit lane entry. I think they go get ahead of it. So Lancer does not do a pit stop. He continues on through. Meister and AW8Smith, of course, going to follow on behind of him. Now going to take that chance. Naismith does do a pit stop here. He's on the soft tire, so of course does seem some advantage of doing the pit stop right about now. So let's see where he's going to be at the end of this safety car, of course. So Naismith gets out on a new set of hard tires there now. TX quite a way back. Let's see how the advantage is going to be when the safety car goes back in. Cape Mines, of course, right up to the rear of Lancer here under the safety car and running. Cape Mines, so they're running against behind. Spill TX out of the session. What's happened to his car? Did he retire? No, he did not. It's down in turn 2. Something's happened to Spill TX. As there is his Ferrari at the side of the track. I'm not sure what happened to him, but that is another driver out of the session. We're down to 11 drivers now remaining here in the Australian Grand Prix. What is happening on track? I'm not sure as yet. I'm trying to figure it out right now because it's leading to just less and less drivers left with us in the session. Trying to work our way through this right about now, so let's see where are we at. So the order as it is right now, guys, looks like there's only 3 drivers that doesn't have penalties. Lancer, Naismith, and Ice1, the only 3 drivers in the session without penalties right now. So Lancer, of course, currently leading the Grand Prix. K-Meister currently running 2nd, AW8Smith running 3rd, Marcel running 4th, Cammy running 5th, Kinemore 6th, Naismith 7th, Ace in 8th, Elixir in 9th, Nightmare Ghost in 10th, and Ice1 currently running 11th on the grid. Unfortunately, Spill TX, Alcon, URL Sierra, and Kodoy are out of this Grand Prix right now. We're just gonna have to wait for this to get restarted, so let's give them let's see, hopefully at the end of this lap here. Okay, so we should be getting back racing here. Just got back on, have to be separate for a second. Safety car is going in. Let's see how the restart goal between Cape Meister and Lancer, of course, here. Let's see when Lancer, he does just have to go. He's already going now. Cape Meister, of course, trying to follow on through with him. How close can he keep up? It's a half a second gap. We can see Lancer trying to keep him out of the super advantage into turn 1. Let's see how close he can keep. It's a 4-10 gap so far. He's actually gained a 10th since that restart, losing it back right about now, trying to keep it going into the next turn. You're gonna have to maybe break a bit later, keep this as close as he wants here. AW Smith pretty close as much as he wanted. Keen more having a bit of luck down in the midfield right about now, with Naismith following him, okay, chasing after Kelly, of course, in the Ferrari in front of him. Let's see, he has such a close gap. Can he get an overtake down here? The Ferrari goes wide, we got to spin around in front. That is Cape Meister in the Alpine having a spin. Not the best of luck. That, I think, is self-inflicted. I don't think he was close enough to anyone for that to happen. He was chasing after a Lancer. Marcel is now up the turret. Smith up into second. Cammy running forward. Keenamora trying to get past right now. He's side by side with that Ferrari. He's trying to get up into P4. He does get up into P4. He's going to try to keep that advantage alive. Naismith following on behind that Ferrari. Now he wants another position up. Can he get it? Let's see. And of course they do have Nightmare Ghost coming close out behind, so it's going to get interesting with that there. Ace running 8, Elixir running 9, Ice running 10, Cape Meister all the way down to the back of the grid, and P11 right now. Not the best of luck there. As we get into the next lap, into lap 17 of 29. Less than 10 laps remaining in the Grand Prix right now. Out in front, Joe Lancer leads by 1.5 seconds against AW8 Smith with no penalties on his end in the McLaren. His teammate now up to third on the grid, so he's looking to have both McLarens finish on the podium here if they can. It's what the case is going to be. Keenamora might have something to say about it as he's running in P4 right now. He's now within a second of Marcel. Let's see how close the chase is going to be for that final podium position here. I think it's going to get pretty close, so let's see the rest of the race as it goes on through. We got a pretty good gap here with Naismith and Cammy, of course, are P5. How close are they going to get? They're almost trying to get side by side. The Red Bull of Nightmare Ghost coming down behind. He's trying to get into the battle as well. It's a 10th between the three of them as they keep on through. The Red Bull on the outside of Naismith, and he's going to try to go around the, no, not going to get around here. They all hold their position. The Red Bull goes and cuts the track there. That's going to be a warning. No penalty given on that account, but you already have some penalties to deal with. Naismith, no penalties here. Trying not to get any ESC battles with these two cars for positions. Cammy in front, Nightmare goes behind. And Ice One, I think, to be too far behind to even worry about him. Ace trying to get past Ice One down in the back there. Let's see how that's going to work for him, as it's only a 2/10 between the two of them. There goes a spin with Naismith into the barriers at the side there. DRS now coming online, not having the best of luck here. He's now at the back of the grid behind Cape Meister and running. Has some damage to that car. He's going to take a pit stop and try to get back into this race if he can. Lap 18 of 29 right about now. And a bit of almost losing the car there with Ace right now. Yellow flag situation on track. Let's get this back going again, see where we're at. Nightmare goes pretty close gap with him and the Ferrari of Cammy, of course. Going to be another battle, of course, for that position. Out in front, AW8 Smith running second, and he's within a second of the race leader, Lancer there. Marcel 2.9 seconds behind that battle, so let's see how that goes. The Red Bull on the inside on this account, Ferrari on the outside. Who's going to get around? Who's going to get ahead? The Red Bull gets ahead. He's up into P5. Cammy down to 6. Lost that position. Let's see if he can get it back, though. He's still within a pretty close gap. Goes a bit wide on the outside there, but not too wide. He keeps it going pretty well. He's keeping the gap as close as he can here. This could be close. He could be able to get back his position if he keeps the gap where he is. He is going to have the DRS advantage. There goes Keenamora getting ahead of Marcel now. He's up into third place on the final podium position as we're fighting for. Marcel down to fourth, not going to be too happy about this. The McLaren team going to be definitely devastated that they're not going to have both cars on the podium here. Just depends on a penalty though. Both cars having penalties there. AW8 Smith having penalties as well. This is going to come down to penalties at the end of the race. We'll see how well it goes on through. But of course, we're still following on with Marcel chasing after Keenamora here. He's still a pretty close gap between them. He could get back this position. Let's see how that's going to run for him. He's trying to get side by side on the inside of the house here. Gets it wrong. Now he gets back. Marcel back up into third place. And that was a pretty bold overtake, but he got it done. Minimum contact between those two cars. I think some minor wheel-to-wheel contact with the McLaren driver. Shows his pace here, and he gets past back into his podium position. Team is definitely going to be happy about that if he can hold that through to the end of this race. It's lap 19 of 29 as you get on through here. Out in front, AW8 Smith about to change things up as he's closing his gap on the McLaren of Lancer here. Lancer under severe pressure right now. If he can't hold that position, is the race lead we're talking about. He's going to be fighting for it as much as he can. They're on the same set of tires here. The Red Bull might just have a bit more advantage in terms of pace here. That McLaren is it looks a bit slower going through. Let's see if he's losing time. Gap was about over half a second. About 8 seconds coming down, so he's lost quite a bit of time. You can see the red light flashing in the back of the McLaren there. You already know what that means. AW Smith gonna go for it at this point here. Maybe down the straight coming up. Let's see, does he get the advantage? And looks like he's on it as well, recharging that ERS. So maybe in a bit of a similar situation with the ERS. And let's see how it works out. 310 gap between the two of them. 5-second penalty added for Ace for speeding in the pit lane. The Camry's in the pits there as well. About 9 laps currently remain here now for the Grand Prix. Lancer trying to hold on to the lead against the Red Bull of AWH Smith, who's only 6 cents behind. Marcel gained back his third place position, from Keenan Moore in the Haas. He's trying to hold on to it once again, as there goes Keenan Moore side by side with him, tries to get up to the position of P3. He does get up. The Red Bull of Nightmare Ghost coming through as well. He gets side by side with the McLaren. Now it's going to be quite a battle with these three for that final podium position. Who's going to get it? And so far it's Keenan Moore up into P3. Now Marcel and Nightmare Ghost left the battle at the back there. The Red Bull trying to get ahead, not having that luck in terms of advantage going ahead of the McLaren, who's already lost one position. Doesn't want to give up another at this point. He needs to get back ahead of the Haas. So of course he's going to push on through as we get into the next lap. Keenan Moore holding on to P3, starting to gain some ground. It's 7 tenths between him and Marcel for that position. Nightmare goes only a tenth behind the McLaren, which is so much closer as he's looking for a gap on the inside. Not able to get it as yet as they get through turn 2, heading to turn 3. Let's see what's going to happen. The Red Bull on a hunt right now. Definitely going to try on the inside of this turn here. He's going to go across with the McLaren. Not able to get the move done. A good car placement from Marcel there as well. Looks like Cape Meister back up into 7th place in this race. He's trying to fight his way through, trying to get a past Ice 1 there. It's a 310 gap with those two down in the back of the grid. We'll have a look at that in a second as we're cheering. Keep an eye on the Red Bull of Nightmare Ghost. Can he go around the outside of the McLaren? No, he cannot. He's going to hold on to behind. And he's trying to chase on through and hold. Oh, he's trying the inside now. Use a bit of slipstream advantage, and the slipstream advantage a bit stronger along the track here does work for him as he now gets up the position. He's up into P4. Marcel losing 2 positions. He's down to 5th now. And of course, I'm quite sure he's going to be fighting to get back to that position there. A bit older in terms of tires here. Comparing to Nightmare Ghost, of course. Keenan Moore, him and Keenan Moore have the same set of tires on. 14 laps done on them. Let's see what the advantage is going to be here. We're going to go down to Cape Meister for a second here and have a look. Can the Alpine get past the Alfa Romeo right now? It's such a close gap. Cape Meister, of course. Bit of bad luck in the race, but he's trying to make up for it. And there goes contact between the two of them. The Alfa Romeo having a bit of an issue, and he's out in the race. Ice One is out, happening on the main straight. A big crash for him. And that definitely should be a full safety car, which it is. At this point in the session, we're going to definitely see some pit stops here. This is lap 22 of 29. Our race leader, the McLaren of Lancer, coming around. AW Smith behind of him. And we already know if Lancer takes a pit stop, AW Smith, Keenan Moore, Nightmare Ghost, and the rest of the gang are going to take a pit stop here as well. And yeah, trying to get onto the soft tires to finish off the final 7 laps of this race. So yeah, we're going to wait to see how that's going to work out with them. But Lancer there, going to try to hold on to that lead as much as he can. Let's see if he can get this done. It's going to be interesting to see how this race plays out coming down to the end. But meanwhile, they follow on to that, guys. Didn't get to say, but welcome to everyone who's joined us here live on the stream here on IG8Live Esports for this race with NOMEX Racing Weekend Division. Thank you guys for joining on. Make sure you guys are following us here on Twitch for all upcoming race commentaries. Basically, that's what we do on the channel. If I'm going to do anything else, I'm going to make another channel to do it. But basically, it's all esports races with commentary here on the channel. So do follow us and make sure you keep up to date with what's going on. Do join the Discord as well, or follow us on Twitter. Keep up to date with any updates that we usually have posted there. So everyone's taking their pit stop there right about now. Anyone who wants to serve any penalties will have to serve the penalties in the pit lane, so that's going to change things up probably a little bit there. Of course, again, guys, saying it as we've said it before on previous streams, there are ads running on the channel. Ads generally run during qualifying, and not during the race session unless there is this situation, a safety car. Whenever there's a safety car, I'm gonna put one of the ads to run. Please guys, bear through it. It does help support us here on the channel. If you don't want to deal with the ads, just do what Wes and Ace did. Subscribe to us here on Twitch, and you avoid all ads. Literally zero ads after that, so you don't have to worry about it. And of course, it's a way of supporting us here on the channel as well. So thank you guys if you guys do that, or do decide to do that in the future. And I appreciate Wes and Ace from the league supporting as much as they can. Wes not here today. I'm not sure where the heck he is. Expected him to be racing as well. Alright, so still on with the safety car, guys, and we've had our pit stops. Looks like Cammy didn't take a stop. Ace didn't take a stop unless they went on to some older tires there. But the order as it is right now, this is lap 23 of 29. Lancer leads the Australian Grand Prix. Keenan Moore now second. AW8 Smith now third. Marcel in fourth. Cammy fifth. Nightmare Go sixth. Cape Meister seventh. Ace in eighth. And Elixir in ninth. Ice One, Naismith, Spill TX, Alcon, URL, Sierra, and Corduroy out of this race session, unfortunately, as we have it. But we're going to finish up the race session. Let's see if there's no Elixir quite a way back. Hopefully, he can catch up to the safety car before they get back restarted here, which I believe is going to be on the next lap, I assume, because we got the McLaren way too close to the safety car to have a restart happening as we're getting around the final turn there now. So I'm quite sure we're getting restarted on the next lap. That's going to be lap 24 going into lap 25. Should give us at least about 5 or 6 laps of racing to finish off the Grand Prix. Shouldn't be too bad. Still finishing, it's actually still pretty good on time in terms of finishing up the session. Usually takes an hour 20 minutes or an hour 30 minutes for a short qualifying session and a 50% race distance race. We're currently doing an hour 6 minutes. It's been an hour 12 minutes on stream. Of course, the stream started a bit before the race time, actual race time. So I think we're doing pretty well. Got a bit more to go, and yeah, that should give us the correct amount of time for what the stream should have been. So once again, guys, welcome and thank you to everyone who joined us here on the stream. Thank you guys for being through the ads. And remember again, guys, if you do want to support us and avoid the ads, just subscribe to us here on Twitch. I really do appreciate all the support that comes from everyone in the league. Let's see if we're going to get back racing at the end of this lap here, which I'm really hoping for. We got 9 drivers, of course, left in the session, all bunched up together at this point, except for Ace and Elixir. They're trying to catch up to the rest of the grid. I think they took some pit stops or something. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, Ace went out to a set of old tires. I don't think he had any new sets left. Set of mediums that are 6 laps old. Let's see if that's going to work for him as we get through sector 2. To be getting to sector 3 pretty shortly. Oh, there we go. So safety car is, of course, going to be in at the end of this lap. I want to get back racing into lap 25 of 29 here at Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix weekend division of NOMEX Racing. And of course, guys, please don't miss tomorrow's stream. We do have 2 races scheduled for tomorrow. That's going to be at what the heck time is it going to be at? I forget the time. Should be at 7:30, and it's 7:30 or 6:30. No, it's actually 6:30 UK time and 8 p.m. UK time. Usual time for F2 division on NOMEX. And an hour and a half before that, we have another stream on the channel as well with Evolution Online Racing. Oh, sorry, not Diversity Esports. This is me a 10-team event as we're back racing again here. So let's see what's going on. Keenan Moore, 10th within that McLaren. Let's see, can he keep his second place position, or he's going to get up into the lead? I will, of course, bring the penalties online in just a bit. Let's finish off this lap first and let's see what's happening. There goes the Haas trying to look for a move on the outside. Blocked off by the McLaren. Not able to get it through. AW8 Smith following on through. Pretty close behind. Nightmare goes there in 6th. He's trying to keep up with whoever's in front of him. That's Cammy, I think, in a Ferrari. Not having much luck. It's only a 10 between the top 2 right now. This is for the race lead. Keenan Moore on for the move right now. Can he get it done? Lancer defending as much as he can. He's going to be defending until the final lap of this race as far as we see, because the gap is going to be as close as it's going to be. Is both on fresh soft tires right now. Nightmare goes up against the Ferrari. He's up into P5. Cammy's down to 6. Let's see how that battle goes on through. Can the Ferrari get it back? Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. It's already a 4-10 gap between them. We'll switch it back out in front. The Red Bull chasing after the Haas now. He's now within the battle for the top 3 here. Of course, this is the battle for P1 with the top 3 drivers here at the moment. But it's now a bit closer between Keenemore and IG8Smith at the moment. Let's see what happens with these two. Gap is getting so close. The McLaren of Marcel tries to close the gap with him. And the Red Bull, if you can see that happening. On board right now with the Red Bull of IG8Smith. How close can he get to the Haas into turn 1? He's closing that gap as much as he can. Fastest lap goes to Lancer and the McLaren out in front. He's doing a great job keeping the lead of the Grand Prix. And I'm quite sure he's going to try to keep it all the way to the end of the lap 29. There goes the Red Bull around the outside. He pushes through where the Haas tried on the McLaren. Didn't get it through, but the Red Bull got it. They get a position up though, but he did get to go side by side with him. Got the next McLaren, Marcel, coming P4. He wants to get onto the podium position here. We'll see if that's going to be possible with the penalties are in play. We'll have a look at that in just a bit to see how that's going to change up the order of the grid. Of course, at the end of the session, here goes a side-by-side move again. The Red Bull trying to get around the outside of the Haas of Keenemore. Can he get that position done? Not looking too hard for Keenemore here. He's going to have to defend. He defends and holds back the Red Bull into that position. He's held down to second place so far. He's losing time out in front with the race leader. Joe Lancer is getting ahead. 1.1 second is the gap. They've lost DRS advantage to him. Keenemore now trying to defend against the Red Bull who has the DRS advantage, and Marcel in the Max McLaren, of course, he's closing his gap right now. He wants to get onto a podium place here. He's going to take away position from one of these guys if he can, and just waiting for something to happen between the two of them. IG8Smith, of course, chases after that Haas once again down the main straight as we get into the next lap. DRS advantage now alive into lap 27 of 29 here for the Australian Grand Prix as the Red Bull continues the chase. It's going to be a close one into the next turn. 2/10 is where the gap is. Let's see if he can close the gap anymore as they get around to this. Is the braking going to help? Where he's going to go? He's blocked out from around the outside, not able to take the inside. He keeps on the race line going through. He might just be timing himself for this one here, but it's going to be a close call with these two for that position. Is he going to come down to penalties? Let's have a look at that right about now. What the situation is. It's a 3-second penalty for Keenemore, 6 seconds for IG8Smith. So even if they switch positions, he needs a 3-second gap against the Haas to keep that position. Marcel, a 3-second penalty. He should be able to get up onto a podium place here against the Red Bull. That's why he's keeping so close. Explains quite a bit. Nightmare Ghost are going to try to deny him that maybe it's a 6-second penalty for him, but gap is about 6/10. And looks like Keenemore is out of the session. What's happened to his car? That put the Red Bull up into second. Marcel up into third. Nightmare goes up into fourth. Meister up into fifth. Cammy into sixth. Let's go on to Ace's car. See if you can see what happened here. Here we come around. Where is the Haas? He's into the wall of the side. I'm not sure if did he have contact with someone, or there was not self-inflicted on that incident there. Not quite sure. We're gonna go back to Marcel here. He's third place now in the race. It's chase against the Red Bull for second place. If he can get it, it's 6-second penalty between the two of them. It's going to be up to who crosses the line before to get second place here. Marcel going to try to get that position. It's less than 2 laps remaining here in the Grand Prix to get that position, to get both cars a 1-2 finish for the McLaren team. And it could just be done with Marcel now a 7/10 behind IG8Smith. The Red Bull under pressure, trying to catch up to Lancer out in front. It's a 1.2 second gap. IG8Smith out of the race. Something's happened to the Red Bull. That puts the McLarens up into a 1-2 finish. If they finish the race right where they are, Nightmare goes from 9 seconds of penalty. He's not going to have any sort of advantage here as the Red Bull is out of the session. Unfortunately, we're switching back out in front. Nightmare goes to a half a second gap towards Marcel now. He's going to try, of course, to get up in the second place, but he's going to cross the 9 second. It's going to be very hard to get a 3-second gap to keep second place at this point. So he's going to have to finish right where he is, but we'll have to see where the gap against Cammy and Meister goes, since they have more. Meister has 3 seconds. Cammy has 12 seconds. It's getting insane at the ending portions of this race. It's going into lap 29 right now with the race leader there Joe Lancer is about to cross the line. He gets into the final lap, lap 29 of this Australian Grand Prix. His teammate Marcel in second place, trying to battle with the Red Bull for that position. Of course, the Red Bull having more penalties than him. 3 seconds more penalties is going to cost him a bit here. The McLaren needs to keep this clean for the final lap, and he does get second place either way. And that's a bit of contact between the two of them, I believe, as they try to get back going here. The Red Bull doesn't have a spin. Luckily for him, he's going to keep going. But that might be looked at the race towards at the end of this session here. It might be reported. We'll see what's going to happen. It's only a 10 between them as they go through sector 2 now. Marcel, of course, trying to get across the line P2 is going to be an accomplishment for McLaren here. If they can get this done, that's going to be some significant points, of course, towards the championship and towards, of course, the Drivers' Championship as well. Constructors' Championship, definitely some valuable points for them if they do get it for a P1, P2 finish. Even a P1, P3 finish would have been good, but still, I think they're gonna get it. I think they're gonna get a 1-2 finish here from what's going on there right now. It's still a battle between these two as they now enter the final sector. There goes the McLaren around the outside of the Red Bull. He gets up the position back up into second place. Next just needs to avoid, of course, another penalty at this point. 6 drivers remain in this race, unfortunately, but that's gonna be quite an interesting finish still as we have Lancer, who is now going to get across the line, and he wins the Australian Grand Prix. Not a bad finish for him. His teammate comes across the line for second place with a 6-second penalty, but still keeps the second place. Nightmare Goes taking third place. That's the final podium position there. Cami in the Ferrari. He's now on the main straight as he gets across to take fourth in this race. Will it be denied by Kate Meister? I don't think it will, with the gap what it is. It's a 14.7 second gap as he crossed the line. I think it was about 15 seconds as he crossed, so I think he should be able to keep that position as it is there. So Cami fourth, Kate Meister finishing fifth, and Ace should be getting across behind that for P6 there. And that is the end of the Australian Grand Prix, guys. We'll have one last look at the preliminary result before the stewards get involved with this. A lot of incidents in this race, so a lot to get through. Cami in the Ferrari there getting driver of the day. Not a bad race from him. But we gotta talk about the McLarens having a 1-2 finish here. Okay, so here we have it, NOMEX Racing Weekend Division, the Australian Grand Prix. Here are our preliminary race results. Lancer finishing P1 and getting the fastest lap. His teammate Marcel finishes second, and that makes a 1-2 finish for the McLaren team. Then we have Nightmare Ghost in the Red Bull finishing third on the podium. Cami finishes fourth, K-Meister fifth, and Ace takes sixth place in this race. That is for drivers who finish the race session. Unfortunately, the rest of the grid were not able to finish, but still was quite an exciting race all the way through. And thank God we didn't have a disconnection from the lobby all the way through that race session. It only happened during the qualifying session. So I think overall was a pretty decent race session all the way through. So gotta give it to the McLaren team, of course, to Lancer and Marcel. Gotta say, quite an exciting race from the two of them. So great job for the McLaren team, getting some decent points, of course, for their Constructors' Championship, and of course for both of them for the Drivers' Championship as well. That's going to help quite a bit. Coming into next week, we'll have a look at the updated standings. That, of course, will be posted in the Discord for NOMEX Racing, and of course we'll have that posted up on Twitter as well. But we will have it up on the stream next week, Sunday. Of course, I think we're going back to the regular time. I'll have to confirm that with Ace. Should be back to the regular time next week, which is usually 8 p.m. UK time. And I think that's gonna be it for this session, guys. Thanks to everyone who joined us here live for this race session with NOMEX Racing Weekend Division. I appreciate you guys showing a bit of support on the channel there. And join us tomorrow for we got a double stream happening tomorrow, of course, at 6:30 UK time for Diversity Esports. That's a 10-team event. It's 10 different teams racing, of course, in 10 races. I think it's round 3 tomorrow, or is it round 2? No, it's round 3 tomorrow. So it should be quite an interesting one. I forget what track it is. I'm not able to keep up to date with everything. And of course, just after that, at 8 p.m. UK time, we do have NOMEX Racing F2 Division Racing. So we'll be on with that there. Time, of course, a bit different because UK, of course, went through daylight savings. It doesn't happen here in the US until next Sunday. So it's a bit unsorted with streams during this week. because his time difference is just a bit different. Either way, guys, so do join us tomorrow for those 2 streams that we're gonna have on. Remember, guys, please make sure you guys are following us here on Twitch. And remember, if you want to avoid the ads during the streams, please do subscribe to us on the Twitch channel. Just we do appreciate all the support. And to the current 4 subscribers that we have, thank you guys very much for the support. I'll see you guys on the next stream.